Nisha, what you were saying that it's not a battle, it's just a discussion. No, it's my dear, it's actually a battle, and I really appreciate the opinion which Josefa, if I'm not wrong, the name was. He came up with the point that manufacturers are the key, uh, what we say, stakeholders in this loop who are putting it up. But the point is how to stop it, firstly, or how it began. So what you people were telling for last half an hour, what you people were saying that how fast fashion has been there in the market and how it is working at the moment and how we are consuming it. What we need to understand that the at the end of the producers, ultimately, the producers are human beings. I'm not defending the producers at all, but somewhere the problem comes from the basic characteristics which we have in our psychology, the principle we have that is called greed. Since the producers are people, they want more and more and more out of whatever they are doing. Consider yourself, if you are running a business, you want the maximum profit you can generate from it. And if I say what would be the maximum amount of the profit, will it end on $1 million or it might end on $1 billion? It has no limit to it, right? When it has no limit to it, that means the greed can never stop. And that greed principle, if that is fitted in our brains, same thing is happening at the end of the manufacturers. The manufacturers has the same mindset. If I relate this mindset or call out this name from the principles of economics, this term is called the capitalism. We have this mindset of capitalism within ourselves. No matter in which industry you work, no matter what type of businesses you are doing, even the so-called NGO system in our society at the moment, sorry to say, but the system of NGOs are working on capitalism. They have become more like a washing machine for the black money to transfer them
Yeah,
into white money. And no one's
definitely.
going to ask them why, because they are tax-free institutes. These are the bodies who are not questioned much. If even if you think I need to question an NGO, people might ask you firstly, who the hell are you to ask the question? Are you asking an NGO? Are you asking an institute who are serving for humanity? You are asking
Mm-hmm.
for to someone who is doing good to the society, and in
Mm-hmm.
some way you might feel like, okay, I think I'm wrong. I should not ask the question. So
Yeah.
even if we remove all these NGOs out of the discussion, the business mindset works on capitalism. As simple as that. The capitalist mindset, what it says, I need to make money as much as possible at the minimum cost. The minimum cost, I would just quote a thing which you people were talking about, the polyester. That is the cheapest item in the manufacturing of textile at the moment, which is obviously the cheapest things are usually the most hazardous. Is the most hazardous element. So the problem, the loop we were talking about, the loop is coming from the point where the starting point where the manufacturer is having a capitalist mindset. Okay, fine. Can we change this mindset? As a manufacturer, no, we cannot. If you ask a manufacturer to stop doing so, reduce down the cost, go for sustainability, yet for the sake of maybe for the fulfilling of the requirements of United Nations, maybe certain regulatory bodies, they might say that we would consider this thing, we will go for ethical production, and not just we would say, there are so many brands. I would not name any one of them over here. I have to keep the my ethics in between. That there are brands who loudly say on this thing that we are working on ethical production, we are working on sustainability, we are trying not to damage the society. But on the other hand, when we dig down into their operations, when we dig down into their production, you will see the same element will be there, not
Yeah.
quite visible to the public, but ultimately it will remain over there. So the question comes again, if there is a loop and we ask the initiation point of the loop, कि भाई साहब आप रुक जाएंगे इसको प्रोड्यूस करना, they would never. They might say yes we will, but they would never. Why? If they would, they have to raise the price. If they have to raise the cost. If they will raise the cost, the price will rise. Ultimately, if the price will rise, the consumer will run away. So the problem is at the point of manufacturer. and the solution we are looking at the point of consumers. That's the main game where I think this session can come to the point of conclusion. The consumers can play their role in here to stop the loop. Yes, we are not, as a consumers, we are not at the point where the problem is starting, but we are at the point where it can end, but it won't be that easy. Because just to relate it with the current situation scenario we are having in our country at the moment, as I see many of the students sitting over here are from Beria University. Not just Beria University. If I take any other university of Karachi, what we are seeing that the campuses are going online. Why we are going online? Is there are there any crises in the market? Yes, there are crises of petroleum. We are trying to reduce the consumption, and our prime minister has officially announced this thing that we need to reduce down the consumption. Okay, what the prime minister has asked the population to reduce down the traveling so the consumption reduces. On the other hand, he has also said that the government officials will reduce down the consumption to up to 50%. But the real question is, will they? Are all the protocols and the convoys going with all the ministers and all? Will all those things be reduced down like the things we have reduced at our end? We are sitting at home, we are taking the classes, we have done the effort on our end, but the point starting one is not being asked, won't be asked, and even if being asked, won't be answered. Similar situation applies on the manufacturer and the consumers as well. Overproduction will remain over there until the overconsumption will remain over there. So if as consumer we think it becomes our responsibility to consume less, what you people were saying for last half an hour were different theories coming from psychology, that we have a social identity, we have certain self identity. We feel like if we buy new clothes, we will feel comfortable, we will feel more into the society, social acceptance and all. Everything coming at the point of the consumer psychology. If we realize we limit ourselves in sort of consuming the clothing, and if we reduce ourselves in sort of thinking in this way, this that yeah, if I have 10 clothings in my closet, these 10 are enough. But the problem is, where this discussion will continue to go on, the problem is people will never think in this way. People will, I'm 100% confident about this thing, people will never think in this way, that we should start to consume less. When you ask how many clothings are there in your closet that you haven't worn for like more than once or twice, I was reading the comments and everyone was saying there are a lot, and I think I was the only one who commented that there's only one dress which I have worn only once in my life. Other than that, I prefer to consume every clothing of mine again and again, not just because I have so many clothes. No, I have a very, alhamdulillah, I have a very limited amount of clothing. Why? Even my family usually asks me this way. Even not long before, I think it's been 3 hours when we were sitting together and it was being discussed. कुछ और कपड़े भी खरीद लो भाई, and I was like, जितने हैं अल्लाह का शुक्र है काफी है. I can use my amount somewhere else as well. So why
Just like
to
my dad.
invest on clothing? Why to invest again? When like you said, Nisha, just like my dad, it's not limited ke he is being not your father or anyone else's father, or not me. We are not being khadus. We are trying to consume the money in some beneficial way. Interestingly, no offense to any gender, if you go on ChatGPT and ask who's the primary audience of the fashion industry, that remains female. Why? Because they have a set of tendency to go towards change more and more. They require more social acceptance. The beauty element tends to be on this gender. And when it comes to this gender, the brands also understand this thing. They go towards everything which you have said in last half an hour. They will make things viral. They will ask the influencers to make it viral. They will show it on ads. They will show it on your Instagram, on your Snapchat. It's Eid season. You travel, just you step out of your home, you will see billboards everywhere. Everyone is bombarding everything on you. The brands are using guerrilla marketing concept. If I'm using the term from the marketing, this is called guerrilla marketing. Brands are using guerrilla marketing. Why? Because they know you'll step out, you'll turn your Instagram, you'll turn on your Instagram, you'll turn on your Snapchat and you will see ads over there. Why not you might see me? So the brands are going on guerrilla marketing. They are showing you everything over there. Ultimately, if they are doing so, okay, they are showing you things, how they will get the revenue out of it. How they will get the revenue out of it. Once you will buy it, once you will purchase it, then they'll get the revenue. If we want to break the loop, we can draw a line over it. If we start to consume in an ethical manner, if we start to reduce down our consumption, these consumptions is again, if I say this, these consumptions are reflection or is the reflection is of our own mindset. If we make our mindset a bit more healthy, that we should not overconsume, then this cycle may start to end. But I would repeat it again. Sorry to be a bit harsh about it, but people won't stop. People won't go in this mindset. You people
Mhm.
have studied the Maslow's need hierarchy. Okay. The topmost level of that hierarchy is that level of self actualization. What self actualization is? Being complete within yourself, having the self of fulfillment within yourself. No brand in the world can take you towards that level. What Maslow was saying, that you have to be complete within yourself. The problem is we are stuck on the level of self-esteem. We are stuck on the level of being recognized. We are stuck on the level of following the trends and all. That the again the psychological aspect, if I say, that concept of FOMO will come again. That everyone is wearing new. Why shouldn't I? Go wear new clothes. No one is asking you not to wear. Even if I talk from the point of a religious perspective, the religion even prefers to wear new clothing, but not in an excessive quantity. See, if you drink water in a certain amount, that's good, that's healthy, that is recommended. But if you overconsume it, the same healthier water will become negative for you. The same thing is applying in the industry of clothing as well, when it comes to the consumption of clothing as well. That we are somewhere, we are consuming in higher quantities. Now, if we are consuming in higher quantities, the other person sitting on the other end, they know they have the capitalist mindset, they know they can make money out of it. So they will again go for the overproduction. They will show you new and new and new things again and again, making things trendy, making things look viral, making things look like that is going somewhere in the market. You start feeling like, okay, it's in the
Correct.
market. If I'm not consuming it, I'm out of it. This mindset needs to be changed.
They create a
So
demand
again,
for it.
that they are manipulating the demand.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
the problem is, even if I'm not wrong, Aruba said this thing, that we need to understand the concept of needs and wants. Everything is surrounding us is going in the category of wants. The brands are creating the wants among us. Needs are there. We want the why? What's the concept of wearing the clothes? It's to cover the body. Okay, fine. It's to look good. Yes. It's to look good and good से आगे better. नाउ देयर कम्स द पॉइंट जहां पे लग्जरी ऐड हो लगी, बेटर से
Mm.
आगे जाएंगे, बेस्ट लग्जरी और बढ़ती चली जाएगी. वाई
Mm.
बेस्ट लिमिटेड by certain design only? No, it should be tagged by a brand name. It should have a certain price tag on it. All these things, ये जो चीजें add on होती चली जा रही हैं हमारे पास, these are the things where problem is in our mindset. These are the reasons why overconsumptions are coming in. And जैसे जैसे ओवर कंजम्पशन बढ़ती चली जाएगी, my dear, the demand will be there again and again. The consumers will demand, the producers will supply, and the war between overconsumption and overproduction will continue forever. How it can be, how this loop can be stopped? Again, if the marketers, if the producers, they become ethical, which I highly doubt that they become ethical, they should stop doing the overproduction, they should go for ethical productions and all, which might not possible be done. So not them, then it goes on the other way, the other side, at the end of the consumers. We can stop the we can stop the consumption, not actually stop the consumption, but we can limit our consumption. If a person, what I would advise on people like us, that if a person is saying that I buy two dresses per month, or maybe someone is saying I buy uh, two dresses in 2 months or one dress in one month, you can reduce down the consumption by buying one dress in 4 months.